Night settles over London the way a velvet curtain settles. Slowly, quietly, with no need to hurry. Rain moves through the city with patient hands, smoothing the edges of the streets and softening every sound. You walk without rushing, letting the wet air cool your cheeks, letting the lamps and reflections blur into a gentle glow. At the end of a narrow lane, an old Victorian library waits with a calm, steady presence. Its stone facade is darkened by time and weather, and the heavy door is framed by carved details you do not need to study. You only need to feel how the place welcomes you, how it asks nothing of you. When you push the door open, the rain becomes distant. The noise of the city fades into a muffled hush, as if the world outside has stepped back. Warm air surrounds you, and the first thing you notice is the scent. Old paper, aged leather, quiet ink, and the long, comforting breath of cedar wood rising from the shelves. The smell is not sharp. It is deep, rounded, and settled, like a room that has been safe for a very long time. You pause just inside the entrance. You let your shoulders drop a little. You let your hands relax. You let your breath arrive exactly as it is, and you do not ask it to change. In this place, nothing needs to be fixed. Nothing needs to be solved. Nothing needs to be completed. The library opens up around you. High ceilings arch overhead, supported by dark, wooden beams that hold the room with quiet confidence. Lamps cast pools of amber light across long tables. Between the pools of light, the shadows are soft. Not empty, not threatening, simply resting. The carpets are thick, and your footsteps disappear into them as you walk further inside. Along the outer walls, tall stained glass windows rise in narrow panels. Rain taps against the glass in a gentle rhythm. Each drop arrives, pauses, and moves on, leaving thin trails that catch the light. Blue and amber shapes shimmer faintly where the lamp glow meets the wet glass. You do not need to identify the patterns. You only need to notice that they are slow. They are steady. They are soothing. Tap. Pause. Tap. The sound is not loud. It is not urgent. It is the kind of rhythm your mind can lean on without effort. A simple, repeating reassurance that the night is doing what nights do. You choose a chair near the center of the room. It is a sturdy chair with smooth armrests worn by countless hands. When you sit, it holds you without complaint. The chair does not creak in protest. It simply supports. A folded wool blanket waits nearby, as if it was placed here for you. You lift it and drape it across your legs. The weight settles with a gentle certainty. Warmth gathers beneath it like a small, quiet tide. You breathe in again. Old paper. Cedar wood. A hint of beeswax from polished wood. And something faintly sweet, like the memory of tea. The air is warm, but not heavy. It is the kind of warmth that invites your muscles to stop bracing. Outside, rain continues. Inside, everything slows. You let your gaze travel along the shelves. Thousands of books stand in long lines, their spines forming steady, patient patterns. You do not read the titles. You do not need to. The books are not here to test you. They are not here to demand attention. They are simply here, holding stories the way the building holds silence. You can imagine that each book is a small, closed door. Behind every door is a life, a place, a thought, a moment preserved. But tonight, you are not required to open any of them. Tonight, it is enough to know they exist. It is enough to know the world is full of stories, and you do not have to carry them all. Rain taps the stained glass windows again. Tap. Pause. Tap. You notice how your breath naturally begins to match the rhythm. Not perfectly, not mechanically, just softly, the way two slow waves begin to move in the same direction. In and out. You rest your hands on the armrests. The wood is warm from the room. Your fingers become still. Your shoulders become heavy in a comfortable way, as if they are sinking into a safe surface. Your jaw loosens. The small muscles around your eyes soften. Nothing in your body needs to hold a strict shape anymore. Somewhere in the library, far away, an old board settles with a gentle sound, a building sound, a living structure shifting as temperature changes. It is quiet and familiar, like the library is breathing in its own slow way. A lamp hums softly. Not a sharp buzz, just a faint, steady presence. A low thread of sound that blends into the rain and the quiet air. You feel the blanket across your legs. Wool has a grounded honesty. It is warm, not because it is flashy, but because It is practical and patient. It holds warmth the way the shelves hold books, securely without effort. As minutes pass, the warmth deepens and spreads upward. You do not need to adjust. You can simply receive. You listen again to the rain. Tap. Pause. Tap. The stained glass turns the outside world into color and shadow. Cars pass somewhere beyond the wall, but the sound arrives here softened and distant. The city is still alive, but you are not inside its noise anymore. You are inside a calmer clock, a slower time. You imagine the library after closing, the last footsteps gone, the last whispered conversation faded. Only books, only lamps, only rain. A place that knows how to keep watch so you do not have to. You can let your mind wander, and you can let it return. If a thought appears, you can notice it like a book spine. There it is. A title you do not have to open. A story you do not have to read tonight. You can let it remain on the shelf. Safe. Undisturbed. Waiting if it must wait. In and out. Your breathing becomes quieter. Your exhale lengthens. Your chest rises and falls with less effort. The space behind your ribs feels wider, as if you have more room inside yourself. The rain continues to keep a gentle rhythm. Sometimes it becomes slightly fuller. Sometimes it becomes lighter. But it never becomes urgent. It never becomes sharp. It stays in the realm of soft things, the realm of steady things. The library lights remain warm. They do not flicker. They do not startle. They simply glow, creating islands of comfort in a sea of shadow. And the shadows themselves feel calm, as though they are made of thick cloth. You sink deeper into the chair. The blanket remains steady. Your hands remain still. Your feet feel pleasantly heavy, supported by the carpet and the solid floor beneath it. You do not need to move. You do not need to check anything. You do not need to decide. You may notice that your eyelids want to close. If they close, that is fine. If they remain half open, that is fine. There is no correct way to rest. There is only the slow permission of this moment. Tap. Pause. Tap. The rain speaks in the simplest language. Arrive. Release. Arrive. Release. You begin to feel the safety of the library more clearly. Thick walls, high ceilings, shelves like quiet guardians. A room built to protect fragile pages from weather, from fire, from careless hands. A room built to preserve. A room built to keep things safe. And because this room keeps books safe, it can keep you safe too. Not by doing anything dramatic. Not by announcing anything. Simply by being what it is. Solid, steady, dependable. You can imagine the books surrounding you like a soft border. Not crowded. Not pressing in. Just present. 1,000 quiet witnesses that do not judge. 1,000 reminders that you are not alone and you do not have to perform. You breathe in. You breathe out. In and out. If you are holding the day in your shoulders, you can let that weight ease down now. If you are holding the day in your forehead, you can let it smooth out now. If you are holding the day in your chest, you can let it loosen now, one small breath at a time. The rain continues. The lamps glow. The books remain still. You might imagine a librarian somewhere long ago, walking these aisles with a small lamp. Not hurried, not worried, just making sure everything was in its place, just making sure everything was calm. That same calm still lives here. It has soaked into the wood. It has settled into the carpet. It has become part of the air. You can feel it in the cedarwood scent. You can feel it in the quiet paper smell. You can feel it in the steady temperature on your skin. Tap. Pause. Tap. You do not have to follow every word you hear. You do not have to stay alert. Your mind can drift. Your attention can blur. You can let the voice become part of the room. Like the rain, like the lamp, like the distant, sooty soft by stone. If sleep comes, you can let it come. If it arrives slowly, that is fine. If it arrives in waves, that is fine. There is nothing you need to achieve. There is nothing you need to prove. The library will remain. The rain will remain. The night will continue doing what it does, and you can rest inside it all. In and out, your breathing becomes a quiet anchor. Your body grows heavier in the chair. The blanket feels warm and steady. The scent of paper and cedar wood feels like a gentle reassurance. You are inside, you are protected, you are held. Tap. Pause. Tap. You are safe among thousands of books, safe within thick walls, safe beneath high beams, safe inside warm light, safe inside a slow rainy night. And when you are ready, you can drift. You can let your thoughts become distant. You can let the edges of the room soften. You can let the rhythm of rain carry you down, free to rest, free to sleep. Here, the stained glass windows hold their colors like quiet secrets. Even in the darkness, you sense the deep blues and muted golds, the soft reds turned almost brown by night. When rain slides down the glass, the colors blur and blend, and the movement is slow enough to feel like a lullaby. Somewhere on a nearby shelf, an old book has a faint scent of smoke from a fireplace long ago. Not fresh smoke, not harsh smoke, only the soft memory of warmth. Another book carries the dry sweetness of paper that has been opened many times, and the cedar wood beneath it all remains steady, as if the shelves themselves are quietly saying, "Stay, rest. You are safe." You might notice how safe feels in the body. Safe feels like a loosening. Safe feels like a softening. Safe feels like the end of searching. In this room, you do not need to scan for danger. You do not need to anticipate the next demand. You do not need to prepare your reply. You can simply be, and the room will continue, holding its shape around you. Rain speaks again in its gentle rhythm. Tap. Pause. Tap. You may feel your thoughts becoming less precise. They do not need to be sharp right now. They can be soft. They can be unfinished. They can drift like mist against the glass. If you want to imagine a small ritual of rest, you can. Imagine that each breath is a page turning slowly, not quickly, not with effort. Just a page turning in a quiet room. In and out. Each inhale is a page lifting. Each exhale is a page settling. And between them there's a pause, a soft space, a moment where nothing needs to happen. The library is full of pauses between shelves, between tables, between sentences written long ago. It is a building made of quiet intervals, and your body begins to understand those intervals as permission. You might hear the rain shift slightly as the wind changes direction outside. The sound grows a little fuller, then softens again, and you remain inside the same calm, protected by stone and wood. Your eyelids may feel heavier now, not forced, not pushed, just invited. If you close them, you can still sense the room. You can still smell the paper and cedar. You can still hear the rain. You can still feel the blanket. You can still feel the chair supporting you. The library does not disappear when your eyes close. It remains steady and real, and that steadiness is enough. Tap. Pause. Tap. In this place, you can let the day become a calm, distant chapter. You can let tomorrow remain unopened. Tonight is simple. Tonight is warm light. Tonight is rain. Tonight is a safe room filled with resting books. And if sleep arrives now, you can welcome it without effort. If it arrives later, you can wait without impatience. Either way, you are already doing what you came here to do. Resting in and out. The air feels smooth on your skin. Your breath feels quieter. Your shoulders feel lower. Your hands feel still. The room feels calm. Thousands of books continue to stand quietly in place. They do not move. They do not demand. They do not rush. They simply remain. And you can remain, too, for a while, for as long as you need. Tap. Pause. Tap. Free to drift. Free to rest. Free to sleep. Here,